We got to get some more on the explosion in the Gulf of Mexico today, just as the business day was starting. For that, we get perspective from Carl Larry. He's the president of Oil Outlooks and Opinions. Of course, he's also been following the effects of the BP spill that it had on the Gulf of Mexico and his industry. Carl, thanks for joining us on the line. I'm sure it's a busy day for you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Melissa. Very good.
So when the news broke this morning about the explosion, I'm just curious, what was the buzz? What were you thinking? What were other energy traders thinking? Was it, oh no, here we go again?
Well, I think the first thing, first and foremost, people started to think about was that the coincidental timing that the judge just made a second ruling against the administration's plan for a drilling ban. So I think now with this in their back pocket, fortunately there was no fatalities or so far no oil spilled. But I think that we're going to start to look at that and think, okay, this drilling ban will go into effect. Right now we're thinking, okay, at minimum 6 months, at maximum, who knows, possibly a year.
You're right. Good news is that nobody was killed. All the people working on that platform have been accounted for. Reports of a possible sheen around that platform. You talked about the judge's overturning of that drilling ban. The other thing I want to talk about is this potential deal that was supposed to go through in the third quarter right now, between Apache and Mariner. Now, you look at the stock for both of the companies today. Mariner was off at one point nearly 16. It certainly climbed back up a lot. When you look at the stocks and when you look at what has happened today, do you think the deal will still happen this quarter?
Well, I think we're just talking about one rig, so I think that it's going to be reevaluated. We'll have to see where and how much damage was done to the rig and where what liabilities lie ahead. Again, if there's oil spilled, the liabilities could move upwards into the idea that what happened to BP. If there's no oil spilled or no gas leaking, then I don't think it's going to be that much of a big deal moving forward for Apache to take over Mariner here.
Got it. But, so a blip rather than something significant. Carl, right. I want to introduce you to my colleague. That's Dominic Chu. He's on the markets desk. I know he has a question for you.
Yeah, Carl, the idea, we've been talking about the perspective between BP and this one here. Just to kind of put it in perspective for the viewers out there, how big is this compared to BP? This is, by many estimates, not even close to the disaster that BP was.
Right, it's definitely not. The BP oil rig was much bigger. And obviously the issues surrounding it were much bigger too. The oil spill and the oil that was spewing out into the ocean, is no way comparison to what's happening here. I think at this point, the big thing that everybody's going to have to keep an eye on is, what kind of safety regulations, what kind of restrictions we're going to see going forward. Obviously, there's problems out there in these rigs, whether they're producing or not producing, or just going under maintenance.
Carl, thanks so much for your perspective. President of Oil Outlooks and Opinions. Appreciate your time.